Hey, it's Coach M here. I hope that you're feeling amazing this week. Do you know what the most important tool in life is that none of us were taught how to use? It's the one tool that can help you show up fully as a parent you want to be and as a person you want to be in your life. When we don't use this tool, we continue to hide from our uncomfortable feelings and continue to damage our relationships. In this video, I'm going to teach you what this important tool is and how to use it the right way. Coming up. What is this tool that can completely transform your life and all your relationships? This powerful tool is a tool of processing your emotions the right way. For most of us, we never learned how to examine our emotions, how to honor them and process them so that we can learn what they're trying to teach us. Most of us have only learned how to run from uncomfortable emotions, how to avoid them at all costs, even if it results in extreme damage to ourselves, physically, mentally, and emotionally, or damage to our relationships. This way of living is not serving us, and we know it. Hiding from our emotions only creates havoc in the rest of our lives, and it leads to destructive patterns and ruined relationships. So in this video, I'm going to help you see that each emotion shows up to tell you something extremely important about yourself. Processing an emotion the right way is the tool that will completely shift your life and all your relationships, from just being okay relationships to absolutely incredible relationships. We've been looking at emotions all wrong. They're not to be avoided. They're not to be buried, stuffed away, or numbed down. By honoring, understanding, and listening to our emotions, we can begin to find deeper truths within ourselves, a deeper view of how we really see ourselves and the world around us. Because we feel our emotions as sensations in our bodies, when we can identify the emotion we're feeling and process it, we're able to release it from our body. In other words, we let go of it, and it no longer has control over us. It no longer has the chance to fester and grow within us, only to explode at some point when we can't avoid it anymore. It's only when we recognize, honor, and process the emotion that we then can have a deeper understanding of what's going on inside of us, what beliefs we're holding on to and need to let go of. Oftentimes, when something happens and we feel an intense emotion, all we can think about is how upset, angry, hurt, frustrated we are. We really can't think about anything else until the emotion settles a little and it's not so intense. So the first part of processing an emotion is actually walking away from a heated situation, if possible, or doing something in the moment to calm ourselves down. It's best if you can walk away and come back after you've had time to not only calm down, but to also process the emotion fully. If the emotion is really intense, then you'll have to practice a grounding technique first. One of the best is deep breathing and meditating. Another great grounding technique is filling a bowl with ice and water, then placing your hands in the water for 1 second, then pulling them out, then placing them back in for 2 seconds, then taking them back out, then back in for 3 seconds, each time focusing on the feeling of the temperature on your hands and the ice touching your hands. Do this until you start to feel calmer. Another good one is walking on concrete barefoot. Obviously, make sure it's safe to do so. As you take each step, focus on the temperature as your feet touch the concrete. Do this for at least 5 full minutes. Actually set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes and make sure you do it for the full 5 minutes or until you start to calm down. Once you're calmer and feel like you can process the emotions, you'll want to take a deep, slow breath and start by asking yourself these questions. Number 1, what emotions am I having right now? Remember, an emotion is expressed with one word, like angry, frustrated, worried, insignificant, embarrassed, guilty, disgusted. For this part, you'll want to make sure that you're fully accepting the emotion and you're honoring it as a way for you to learn and grow. So accept the emotion, no matter what it is. You don't want to resist it here. When we resist it, we don't honor what it's trying to show us and teach us. This part can be hard, but practice saying to yourself, I feel, and whatever emotion it is, and it's showing up right now to help me figure out what's at the root of this issue. For instance, if my teen has done something unthinkable and I'm filled with anger, disappointment, embarrassment, I would identify all of these emotions first and say to myself, I feel angry, disappointed, and embarrassed right now. but these emotions are showing up to help me figure out what's at the root of this issue. Use the emotion wheel linked in the description down below to narrow down your emotions that you're feeling. Mad is a very different emotion than hostile or annoyed, and each emotion tells us something different about what's really going on in the situation. Number 2, ask yourself where in your body you feel the sensation of the emotion. Emotions will usually give our bodies a signal that something feels either right or something feels wrong. Remember, an emotion is only a sensation in the body. The emotion itself cannot hurt you. Now, if the emotion isn't handled and processed appropriately, it can lead to unhealthy actions that can hurt us. Like if I don't process my anger, disappointment, and embarrassed feelings towards the situation with my teen, it could lead to me saying or doing something that could be damaging to my relationship with my teen. So remember, it's the actions that hurt us, not the emotions or even the thoughts creating the emotions. This is super important to remember. The emotions themselves cannot hurt you. It's when the emotions are left unprocessed that they can lead to actions that you take that can hurt you or someone else. For instance, if I'm feeling resentful and I don't process the resentment, and decide to say something from the feeling of resentment, it's not actually the resentment that made me say something hurtful. It may seem this way, but it's actually that I didn't process the resentment. I instead allowed it to fester and consume me in the moment. And the feeling got so strong that I then chose to release it by taking the action of saying something hurtful. This is why processing our emotions is really one of the most important things that we can do in our lives. Number 3, when processing an emotion, ask yourself, what thoughts am I having about the situation? Remember, our thoughts create our emotions. So this step is crucial to be able to see what thoughts we're having about the situation that can reveal deeper beliefs that we have about ourselves that are leading to these emotions. This is a huge step in processing an emotion. So you'll want to take a really hard look at what you're thinking, and I highly recommend writing all of it down. By writing it down, you'll start to see a pattern to your thoughts, which can help reveal a bigger belief that you have about yourself. Number 4, ask yourself, am I having an urge to suppress or move away from these feelings? And if so, why? By asking this question, you're causing your brain to search for the answer, to go deeper into why you feel you can't handle the emotion. This is where we want to go within and access our intuition. We want to uncover what's behind the emotion to help us really see where the emotion is coming from and what it's trying to show us about ourselves. This is the part of processing an emotion that can be really tough, but hang in there. This is the important part. Your brain may try to tell you to forget about it or numb it away with eating your favorite comfort foods or watching your favorite shows or getting on social media for hours at a time. Or if the emotion is intense and painful enough, your brain may even convince you to use a stronger substance to numb it away for a while. And although it may be so tempting and seems so much easier to stuff it down inside of you or numb it away, by doing this, it only makes the emotion stronger inside of you. It'll grow bigger and bigger as time goes by. It'll start to fester at some point and bubble to the top. And pretty soon, it'll affect every relationship that you have. It will rob you of showing up fully for your life. The bubble eventually gets too big and will burst in a way that hurts yourself and those around you. Also, if you feel the emotion you're struggling with is too big for you to process on your own, and you worry that you won't be able to handle processing it, make sure to reach out for help. There are great, skilled therapists who specialize in helping others process overwhelming, out of control emotions. Number 5, after you've tapped into your intuition to help you. By the way, if you need help with accessing your intuition, I've linked a step-by-step guide for accessing your intuition in the description down below. Now, take 5 deep, slow breaths. Count to 5 as you breathe in and count to 5 as you breathe out. Then breathe in the feeling with curiosity and openness. This is the key. You don't want any judgment here. You don't want to avoid feeling the emotion, so try not to resist this part. Remember, feeling your emotion will not hurt you. It cannot kill you. It's only a sensation in the body. Your mind may try to feed you negative thoughts as you feel the sensation in your body, but each time you become aware of those thoughts, take another 5 deep, slow breaths. Count to 5 as you breathe in, and count to 5 as you breathe out. Number 6, as you keep breathing in the emotion, ask yourself these questions. Is this feeling bearable? Do I think something bad will happen if I continue to feel this emotion? And if so, what? How bad is it on a scale from 1 to 10? What can I do to tolerate and handle the situation in a healthy way? Whether it's breathing techniques, meditation, a visualization, exercise. If at any point you feel it's just too much to bear and it's causing you to panic, then stop and go back to a grounding technique that works for you. And seek help from a therapist that specializes in processing trauma and intense emotion stuck in the body. If you feel like the emotion is bearable and you can continue, then ask your intuition to help you question the emotion and thoughts, again, with curiosity and observation, without judgment. Number 7, you'll want to ask the following questions. Which of my needs are not being met here? Do I feel unheard, disrespected, misunderstood, unimportant? Have one of my values been compromised? How might I be contributing to this emotion? Allow your inner wisdom to show you how you might be making the emotion stronger, possibly by the thoughts you're having about the situation. So stay open here to what your intuition tells you. What might the other person be feeling and trying to accomplish in this situation? This may be hard at first and your brain will resist, but ask your intuition to help you answer this question. Put yourself in the other person's shoes and try to see the situation from their viewpoint. Rarely are people purposely trying to hurt us. They're usually trying to get one of their needs met, which might result in hurting someone, but most people are not intentionally making an effort to hurt people they care about. So listen to what your intuition shows you for this question. It may be surprising to you. Next question, is this triggering a core belief that I have about myself? Feeling unimportant, unworthy, not enough. Almost every negative emotion shows up because of the way we feel about ourselves, because of a core belief that we believe is true about us, even though it's not. Allow your intuition to answer this question as well. It will reveal the deeper truth behind the emotion. Next question, is this feeling a buildup of different or previous situations? Asking this question will help you see if the emotion has been festering from previous situations, where you felt the same emotion but stuffed it down or numbed it away. And it's now showing up again, either with the same person or people or a similar situation that triggers the emotion that's already bubbling inside of you. Now, go back through the thoughts that you wrote down and challenge each one, asking, what core belief is this thought coming from? Is this thought 100% true? What's an opposite thought? And what are 3 examples of why that opposite thought might be true? By doing this, you'll break the negative thought pattern and it'll give you other thoughts to think about. Eventually, you'll want to replace the negative thoughts with other thoughts you believe that will create the emotions you want to feel. Remember, an emotion is showing up as a clue for you to recognize and change something within yourself. It's not about blaming the other person or trying to change something about someone else. The emotion is arising in you to show you something about yourself. By honoring each and every emotion, recognizing its value, not resisting it, not wishing it would go away, not burying it or numbing it away, we allow the emotion to teach us what it's here to teach us. When we process it, it'll move easily and quickly through us. And I just want to say that although we label emotions as positive and negative, the truth is emotions are just emotions. Again, they're here to teach us something about ourselves. We label them this way because we don't like to feel the so-called negative emotions like anger, sadness, disappointment, because they make us feel uncomfortable. But all emotions are part of life. The idea of our lives isn't to be happy all the time, even though we all want that. Life is filled with pain, sorrow, uncomfortable situations, and tough problems and issues. And we will have uncomfortable emotions that we have to work through. That's why it's so important that we learn the right way to work through them, the right way to release them so that we're not running from them anymore. So we're not ignoring or mismanaging them to the point of eruption and devastation in our lives. Decide to take control of your life today, to learn to accept, honor, and process your emotions. It'll be the greatest gift that you give yourself and the greatest gift you give to others as well. It'll transform how you show up in all of your relationships, helping you to create deeper and more meaningful connections with yourself and those you care about. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click on the bell icon to get notified when I upload a new video. And I do upload videos weekly. I hope that you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you in the next video.